Hi guys, it is officially CdLS Awareness Week. CdLS Awareness Day is Saturday, May 13th. So if you think about it, on Saturday, wear purple and tag me on Instagram in your pictures just to show your support for the CdLS community. On Instagram, we're the same, Freya's Lucky Arm. I'm going to answer a couple of questions today, and then hopefully we can get some cute video of Freya to put on the end of this video. So I kind of grouped these in categories. Sorry, my laptop's over here. That's what I keep looking at. And the first category is genetics and pregnancy. So the first question, L. Sands asked, how does CdLS affect an individual's reproductive health in females and males? How does CdLS affect puberty in females and males? So, as far as reproductive health, I don't think there is any effect on that. I know a couple of people who did not know they had CdLS and then had children and had multiple children with CdLS, and that's how they found out they had CdLS. So it is quite rare that people with CdLS have children, but I really think that's just to do with the cognitive level that a lot of people with CdLS get to. There are, like I always say, it's a spectrum, so you can have very mild all the way up to severe, but most people are kind of in the middle of that. Puberty. I don't think it affects puberty. Our kids don't get as big, but as far as I know, there is no effect on puberty. They go through puberty. Girls have periods. Just average ages. All right, Pat Meek asked, what happens during the baby's development period when this condition is identified? Where is it identified? So I think she's kind of asking, like, when do you find out about CdLS? CdLS is noted in pregnancy sometimes, not always, and usually that's a slower growth rate. They tend to grow slower in utero, but that doesn't indicate CdLS really. A lot of kids can have a slower growth rate while in utero. For Freya specifically, at our 20-week scan, we found out about her limb difference and also her growth delay. We went to see a maternal fetal medicine doctor, and at that point they said, we think the two things combined are genetic related, but we're not entirely sure. So even with Freya, we didn't know it was CdLS when we were pregnant. I think there's a question about this, so maybe I'll wait to finish that. But usually it'll be noticed at the 20-week ultrasound if there's a limb difference and growth delay. Sometimes there can be heart problems. I'm trying to think of other things in utero that they looked for with Freya. Recessed chin, they look for. I think that's it. It's really kind of hard to find in pregnancy. Pat Meek also asked, is there any evidence of this condition in either of your families? No. So CdLS is genetic, meaning there is a change in one of your genes. And if Freya ever had kids, she would pass on CdLS to her children. But most cases of CdLS are new mutations. They call it de novo mutation, meaning I don't carry it, my husband doesn't carry it, no one in our family has it. It just was a random mutation that happened in Freya, they think shortly after conception. So as early as she was conceived, one of her genes mutated, and that's where she gets the CdLS. Brand new mutation in her. Amy Murray says, are there any pre-tests to know if children have CdLS while being pregnant? Was your pregnancy complicated? So I have heard of a couple people finding out they have CdLS during pregnancy, but it's kind of complicated. So you would have to have an ultrasound and see a limb difference, a heart problem, recessed chin, small growth, and then your doctor doing that ultrasound would have to recognize that it could be CdLS. There's a lot of genetic testing they have for pregnant women now, but that usually just checks for chromosomes and not individual genes. So it will pick up things like Down syndrome, which is an extra chromosome, trisomy 18, which is an extra chromosome. Like Turner's syndrome is you're missing a whole X chromosome, things like that. But all these specific, just like one gene, CdLS is a change in one gene, and you have hundreds of thousands of genes. So you would have to very specifically know what you're looking at, and where it's so rare, a lot of doctors don't even know CdLS exists, let alone could they look at an ultrasound and say, I think it's this. And then you have to have an amniocentesis, which is where they put a needle in, take out some amniotic fluid, and test for that specific gene. So a lot of things kind of have to fall into place to find that. My pregnancy. I have a whole episode on this. So if you want to go back and watch the video, I'm pretty sure it's titled My Pregnancy Story or something like that. It's one of the first videos I made. I did start hemorrhaging when I was 5 weeks along. Well, let's go back. I didn't get a positive pregnancy test for a week after I had missed my period. So they did some blood work and my HCG levels were low, which is the pregnancy hormone. And then I started hemorrhaging, and I assumed I was having a miscarriage. My HCG levels weren't rising as they wanted them to, but they still kept rising. I started hemorrhaging again at 6 weeks, and when they did the ultrasound, Freya was a week behind already. So a lot of weird things. I always am very, very sick during my pregnancies, so there was that on top of that. Once the bleeding stopped, I had something called a subchorionic hematoma. Once the bleeding stopped, there wasn't really any other complications. I take that back. There was one. She had a high pressure in her umbilical cord, meaning she couldn't push the used up blood back into me to be filtered as easily. Most of it was just stress from the specialist doctors telling me everything that could go wrong and that my baby could die at any minute, and they just were convinced something was wrong and it was going to go horribly wrong and she was going to be born and have to be life flighted. Like, they did not help ease any type of stress. They just added more and more and more. And that to me is what I remember about my pregnancy. I did have some complications, but not a ton. It just was very stressful because of one specific doctor that was not my doctor. He was just the specialist doctor I was sent to. So go back and you can hear the whole story on that video. All right, Anna Langham says, is this a genetic issue? Yes, but not anything that my husband or I carry. What do they know, if any, studies on a common denominator of women having children born with this? No common denominator. There's nothing I did. There's no genetic background. There's no place people live. You can find kids with CdLS all over the world. I have friends that have kids with CdLS all over the world. No race, no gender. Like, oh, I think someone asked that. We might get into that later. Nothing. And I get asked this a lot, and I feel like people expect me to say, oh yes, this happened, and that's why Freya has CdLS. Nothing happened. Nothing I did. It's just a random mutation. Sometimes genes mutate, and that's what happened. My husband always says it's a way that people kind of protect themselves like this couldn't happen to me because something must have happened. Nothing ever really does with genetic conditions. Sometimes a man and a woman can both carry it unknowingly, but that's not the case with CdLS. So, Bella the bookworm, if you ever decide to expand your family, how likely is it that your next child would have the same condition or something similar? So again, because we don't carry it, I think that it's like less than 1% chance of having a child with CdLS. It's 1 in 10,000 births, which, as a reference, Down syndrome is 1 in 700 births. So if you take how rare Down syndrome is and times it by whatever you need to get to 10,000, that's how rare CdLS is. So we have no increased risk. Obviously, we have 4 children. Only one of them has CdLS. And if we were to get pregnant again, it would be the same less than 1% chance of having another child with CdLS. The same as we did with Freya. Melanie Warren says, is CdLS more prevalent in boys or girls? Same across the board. It's not more prevalent in either one. All right, we're going to go into the abilities section. There was a lot of the same questions asked, so I'll just be answering them once. Rachel Tesmer says, Freya seems very intelligent. Will she integrate into school in the future? She is currently in school and doing amazing. I credit them with why she's doing so amazing this past year. She goes to a preschool here in town. It is a district preschool. We have 2 preschools in our city that accept children with disabilities, and this is one of those schools. She does amazing. She loves going. She loves her teachers. She loves her friends. It's a class of about half disabled kids and half typical kids. There's only 10 kids in the class, so get a lot of one-on-one attention, and we love them. Cat Love says, does she know that you're her mom and that you care for her? Does she show any emotions when you're away and you've come back? Does she show excitement like she knows that you're her caregiver? Yeah, she does. I find it more often that she asks for Chris, her dad. When he's at work, she will sign. So this is the sign for dad, but she signs it like this. So she'll sign dad. She used to sign where's dad when she was signing a lot. She knows he's gone all the time. I'm hardly ever gone. So when I went to Las Vegas with my sisters, I was gone for 3 days. And on the 3rd day, she asked, where's mom? But usually if I'm gone, she's having a blast with either her dad or I have a best friend that usually watches her. And so she usually is so entertained by going and doing fun things that she doesn't care. She is excited when I've been gone and come home. She's excited to see me. I find on the days that she's at school and she comes home, she's a little more clingy. When she gets off the bus, she smiles, she'll light up and she does this when she's excited and kind of shakes her hands, and she'll do that. So I do think she knows who I am. And she does sign mom, and when she wants to be held by me, she will sign, like if she's sitting with her sisters, she will sign mom. So yeah, she knows I'm mom, and she knows that I'm the one that takes care of her. So Christine Gallagher, do they tell you at what point, if any, her functioning level is at and will be at? She seems so smart. They tell me what level. So there's a test that they do. They did it before she went into preschool to test cognitive level. Now they say she's 9 months kind of collectively, but socially she's higher on that. And then they gave her less points for communication. They said she was at like a 4-month-old communication level, which I 100% disagree. They would not count her signs as communication because she's not deaf or hard of hearing, which I think is it's a flaw in the system, right? Because she's communicating and she knows what she wants and she's asking for it. But 9 months, I would say, because I've had 4 kids, I think she's probably about 18-month level other than walking. I'd say cognitively about, I think, 18 months. Where will she get? We don't know. Most people with CdLS that are similar to Freya, I would say top out 7-8-year-old level. Some that have it less severe, you probably wouldn't know. So I think Freya's pretty moderate in her effectiveness of CdLS. I'd say moderate / severe. And so I expect that she'll top out. I don't know. I'd love 5, 6, 7. That'd be great for me. If she could be as able as like Jessie and Fiona are right now, that'd be great for me. Diane Pierce, will Freya ever walk or talk? Does she have her own language with her siblings? So this is one question we got over and over and over. The shorter answer is we don't know. I think she will probably walk. She's getting better at that. Her speech therapist thinks she will talk. I don't know. Maybe she won't. That's why we're trying to give like a whole communication approach, doing the communication boards, doing sign language. I want to give her all the tools so that she can communicate. I don't care if she talks. I don't care if she signs. I don't care if she uses the communication board. I just want some type of communication. So does she have her own language with her siblings? They seem to know what she wants a lot. So they don't, they understand. I feel like it's kind of like when you have a little baby and you get to know their grunts and everything. They're way better at that than I am. So yeah, they're always like, Mom, Freya wants this, and she'll smile, and that's what she wants. So they seem to have it down. Tanisha asks, I have a question about potty training. Will that be a wait and see type of thing, depending on if, when she learns, how will it affect school for her? Again, I don't know. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. Within the special needs program in school, they will continue to change her diapers if needed. And that's just a wait and see. First, we need to get her to walk so she's able to get to a toilet and some way to communicate that that's what she needs. And then we'll see. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there because it's getting pretty long. Next time we will do personal questions about Freya. Why don't you do these things? Which are my favorite. And there was one more, the CdLS community. And I will answer those. I'll try to get a video out, hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday. My kids' birthdays, Liam and Fiona have the same birthday, and they're this week. So we have a lot of stuff going on. And I want to kind of show you their birthday and that. So hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll answer another set of questions and then give you a short glimpse into birthday fun. And thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate all the questions. I think they're great questions, and I am glad that you guys want to learn more about CdLS. So thank you. Now let's see if we can get some cute video of Freya for you guys. Hi. We're gonna roast some s'mores tonight, huh? The wind is kind of settled down enough that we can cook some s'mores. Huh? It's chocolate. Chocolate. What do you think? Do you want it? Chocolate. Look at it. It's so pretty. Oh, dropped it. Got it with the lucky hand, huh? Keep going, Jesse. I don't think it's done yet.
It's gonna get covered in smoke and ashes.
Don't get it too close then.
Yeah, I know. It's just like with all the smoke and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's what gives it the good smoky flavor. Hi, Suki.
Ah!
All right, what do you think?
I'm saying to do 2 thumbs
Two
up.
thumbs up. Fiona, got some in your hair? Thumb up. What was so bad about it?
Well, it wasn't bad. It's just like the marshmallow, only like one side of it was goopy and nice.
Yeah. How you doing in your own chair, Freya? Is she queen? Yeah. Freya, are you queen?
No, she is much more than a queen. She is goddess.
Oh, goddess Freya.
She's the goddess.
Yeah, goddess Freya.
Now we just need to.
You having a good time?
That is Freya Queen.
2
Or
cats.
Find 2 chariot pulling cats these days. Home Depot.
Yep. They sell them for cheap.
For those that don't know, the goddess Freya rides in a chariot pulled by 2 cats. So they're saying that's her
That
chariot.
is perfect.
She needs 2 cats.
I was just.
You're so
I was
silly.
just about to go. Like,
Are you
up
saying,
that ladder.
ha, I've got dad.
Completely forgot.
I got my daddy.
She's reaching for mine.
Are you cozy? You all wrapped up in a blanket with mama? Oh, you sit up. Oh, your back is warm. Yeah, your back is warm. Alrighty, just got all the kids to bed. I'm gonna go shower and get the smoky smell off of me. I think I'm gonna try and dye my hair tonight too. My family, we all go gray very early, and I started going gray probably about 26, and you can really see. Oh, I didn't think it was so bad, but you can really see all that gray regrowth, and here, like this is all, that's all gray. So I hope you guys come back next time. I'll answer more questions and you'll get a little sneak peek into birthday day for Liam and Fiona. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope we'll see you next time.